G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated Podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Alright, so if you've just listened to the previous episode, my Therapy Reflections 8, this episode is taking place about 45 minutes later because I said on that particular episode how strong my anxiety was and that I didn't really know what to do to bring it back down again. Well, one thing I used to do, and a lot of people swear by it, and for good reason, is exercise. So I went running just then. First time in months. It was, look, let's be honest, it was pretty terrible. There was a lot of walking involved, probably more walking than running, but that doesn't matter because it's the mental challenge that was the big part. The physical challenge is there, don't get me wrong, big time, but that's secondary to the mental challenge. And the mental challenge was go for a run. Didn't have to be good, didn't have to be pretty, just put the shoes on and go. And that's what I did. Nature's best antidepressant is exercise. So, thought I'd give it a try. Now, how's my anxiety levels? Are they completely gone? No. But the edge seems to have taken off because you're in fight or flight mode, so it's adrenaline pumping. I've now used some of that energy when I went running. I used a lot of it actually because I was struggling. But still, used a lot of that excess energy that's there waiting for something to attack me. That's why I'm on edge. I'm anxious because there's threats coming. I don't know where, but they're coming. Anyway, that system's dialed up way too high and there's excess fuel that's just not being burnt and it's just creating this big problem. So the running has burnt off the excess fuel. Am I still anxious? Yes, definitely. But that's to be understood because, that is understandable because, as I've said many times on this show, I'm anxious 24/7. There is no relief. It just varies in intensity. So, anxiety is still here, well and truly next to me. But the good thing is I can now think, hey, now I went to therapy today. Then I did 2 podcast episodes. And then I even went for a run, overcoming that huge mental hurdle. That's a pretty good day. So when the anxiety does die off eventually, probably tonight when I go to bed, I'll be able to look back and go, hey, here's some evidence that we did good today. We did good for ourselves. It's because the running thing, there's a lot to do with the running thing. It's a huge part, or it used to be, of my identity. And I've said it on the show before, probably not enough for how big of a component of my identity running used to be. And it was hard going then because I was so slow and had to do a lot of walking, and I really was focusing on not focusing on how good I used to be, running marathons and stuff, raising money, all this stuff. Seems so long ago, because it was, but that isn't who I wanted to compare myself to. I wanted to compare myself to the guy just before who didn't want to go running because he was petrified of the world and then let it win. And so I compared myself to that version of me, which never eventuated on this occasion, and happy days, because that was a positive exercise, no pun intended, that has no negative drawback. All it is good for the soul, good for me physically, even though it hurts so much, and mentally. You're not fit. I'll tell you, I know when I'm not fit because it's when my lower back hurts more than, say, my legs, like my calves and my quads. My lower back hurts more. I've found that seems to be a conditioning problem. The more I run, the stronger the lower back seems to get, and it's not a problem anymore. But I always notice when I've got a lot of work to do to get back to some sort of fitness, this lower back is so, it's killing me. Anyway, maybe I need to stop working at places where I pick things up all day. Anyway, moral of the story is overcome the anxiety. Is there still some residue left over? Yes, there is, but that's to be expected. I just did a really, really good thing for me then, and I want you to know about it because, it's the good things and the bad things on this potty. The good things need to be celebrated as well. And let me tell you, going for that run just then, that was big. That was a big one. All right, thank you, everybody. That's enough for me today. I've done enough. I've spoken enough. The dry mouth is killing me. Don't know what's causing that. That's a recurrence of a side effect that I used to get, like a couple of months ago, and it's back with a vengeance. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, who cares? Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying the show, feel free to like, subscribe, give it a great rating, and you can share it around with your mates. And you can follow me on Instagram at elliot.t.waters. All right, I'm going to get on the foam roller. We'll see you next time here on the show. Bye.